North Korea's third attempt to launch its first spy satellite into the orbit may take place within a week or so. In fact, as early as this week. For more, let's turn to Bruce Bennett this morning. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
So it is highly likely that the launch will take place in the coming weeks, if not within the year, because making that a success is one of the regime's major military goals of 2023, right?
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, 2 failed launches is very embarrassing for Kim. That's something he can't afford with all his other failures. So it's important for Kim that he get a successful launch.
Definitely. Now, this past Saturday, November 18, was a North Korean holiday that marked the test firing of its Hwasong 17 ICBM in 2022. Last year. Now, despite those expectations, the day went without any special event or celebration. Now, why do you think the North kept quiet over this anniversary?
Well, I think, first of all, the answer is we don't know. Kim didn't tell us. But I think if we want to take an educated guess, I'd say that with 2 failed launches of satellites, that Kim was very anxious to not get ahead of himself, not try to make space launches important when he's got a record right now of failure. So I think he was trying to wait until after he completes a successful launch, hoping that this third launch will be successful before he makes any big deal about his space launch capabilities.
Right, you are correct, because the North was announced to announce something. They usually do that a day after. Now, back in 2021, let's go back 2 years ago, the North designated November 29 as Rocket Industry Day. That is to celebrate the anniversary of the country's the regime's largest ever nuclear missile test. But the regime's calendar that year, 2021, didn't show that anniversary. Now, do you think the regime's 2024 calendar will give more clues about Missile Industry Day? What do you think?
Oh, I think we'll probably see something if the third launch is successful. If it's not, then I don't think the regime is going to make a big deal about it. This is the kind of thing where very clearly they want a success. And if they get it, then they'll make a big deal about it.
Definitely. So the Missile Industry Day will all depend on the success or the failure of the third launch attempt. Now, I have to point out, it's been a while since the leader Kim Jong-un has been out seen in public. Now, why is this? What do you think he's up to?
Well, this is a case that's been true for years. He's been someone who's disappeared for significant periods of time, for a month or more, many, many times in a year in past years. So this is a character of his operating procedures. And I think we have to recognize that he may be ill. He certainly has been ill in the past with problem with his foot that took him out of the visibility for over a month. He may have had other illnesses, and so it could be that, or it could just be that he doesn't very much like being in the limelight. He wants more privacy. We just really don't know.
Right, but he must be paying close attention to all these diplomatic developments that are happening, from the APEC summit, the summit between U.S. President Joe Biden and Chinese leader Xi Jinping, right?
Oh, absolutely, but that's all bad news for him. The fact that the outside powers are cooperating closely, I mean, he would really like to break the U.S.-ROC alliance. The fact that he's failing to do so when he's told his leaders that he wants to do it, that's also another failure. So he's going to be really, really careful with those kinds of things, to downplay them until he can start establishing some of his own successes.
Right. Before I let you go, should we expect a plenary meeting in the North at the end of the year or at least the beginning of New Year? Because that's what usually happens, right? Now, if a meeting does take place, what kind of goals do you think the North will lay out for the new year?
And again, I think that in part depends upon whether or not the third launch is successful. If the
Okay.
third launch is successful, he's going to talk about more space launches and wanting to do more in that kind of area. If the third launch is a failure, he's going to want to ignore that. More generally, he's got a lot of economic problems that are going on that he needs to overcome. And with Russian assistance, he's going to have more food available. He's going to look better in a variety of ways. So I think he's going to tout the accomplishments of the regime without directly attributing that to support from Russia.
We should definitely get back to you after the third launch attempt actually does take place. All right. Thank you, as always, for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.